will let you know when we need to ready up. Only 3 minutes to wait for the sprint. I need to set the grid and the thing. Right. I'm gonna hope that it's okay for me to pause and show the red. And there we go. Okay. Now I can do my work. I need to be quick about this though, because the race is going to be starting in not too long. If not, then I'll just do it later. For the stream, JohnJohn did claim the title. So congratulations to him. From here on out, it will likely be that he's just going to have some fun. And honestly, I don't blame him. Who am I missing? Prev and I'm assuming Top Gun? No J-Case, no Flamingo, no Josh. And that should be everybody, I believe. And just in time for the sprint to soon start. And it is now 36, so we should be getting underway any moment now. And I shall get sat down in my chair for this, because I don't want to be stood up the entire time. I won't be able to see chat very often, by the way, lads, so if you guys want to... You guys in the chat want to say anything, I will be probably responding a bit later. And here come the lights. 4, 5. And lights out for the Monza sprint in the no assist tier. Sox with a pretty decent getaway from Adamski in P2. The Mercedes barreling down to turn 1 as they all got. That's 3, nearly 4 wide in the background. Bit of chaos in behind. Chivers drifting across the turn 1 curb. Novi up into P2. And Sox has maintained the lead as a storming getaway. Adamski and Novi side by side in the back. SmallerSmiley getting up to P4 as well. Adamski obviously on lower wings than Novi, or burning a little bit because he's got ahead. Chivers looking for us, having a slight look on Smaller, but Sox has just made a bit of a mistake there, and the gap has now closed back up again. So the top 2 have maintained. I'm not sure where Novi started, if I'm being completely honest with you. Adamski going a bit wide on the exit of the second les mode. Chivers getting all out of shape. So Novi will be attacking Adamski down into the Ascari chicane. Gets him just before the corner. Adamski wisely decides to back out. Now, if I think these would be Haas's first points in the no assist tiers. That is a Williams round. That is Chivers off in the background. Unfortunately there, I think it just lost the rear on the exit of Ascari. Smaller looking for a move on the inside of Adamski into Curva Alboreto. It's a brilliant move. And Tamino's also pulled a great one off as well. He'll be looking to get past Smaller. They will be nigh on 3 wide. Not quite. And Tamino taking the outside into turn 1. They've both got to be careful that they get it stopped before they hit the Alfa Romeo in front. And Tamino hits up the podium. Ryan also getting past Adamski into P5. Deflated getting past JohnJohn in behind. They're quite close. quite see what's going on between the two, but Deflated has got past. And Sox is still holding the lead, that guy getting past Adamski as well. Ryan looking for it on Smaller. Getting it on the inside of Lesmo 1. Followed by the inside for Lesmo 2. The two going side by side, Smaller going off the track a little bit. Sox has made a mistake and that's caused Novi to go into the lead. There's a yellow flag behind. I think Adamski's gone round, which is rather unfortunate for the Haas man. Everybody starting on the mediums. Apologies, couldn't get that up for you earlier. But Novi now in the lead. Will have the pressure from Tamino behind. A little bit wide at Alboreto, but not too wide for the Alfa Romeo. And Sox is being overtaken by Ryan as well. This Tamino sets the fastest lap onto lap 3. He's not even DRS activated yet, and he's almost going for the lead. Can't quite get there. Might try it down the inside of turn 1. And gets the move done. Nicely done by the AlphaTauri man. But we'll see how the race progresses. They're going side by side in the background with Sox and Smaller. Sox almost backing out to let everybody through, and that's Smaller also looking on Ryan. It's a great one from Smaller down the inside of the... Oh sugar, which corner is that? Help me. Chat, help. There's nobody in the chat. Sag. Ow. I just ran over my foot. There's my wire going. As Chivers has already got a 3-second time penalty. Novi is actually keeping with Tamino here. Obviously, Monza just being straight break, straight break, straight break almost all the time. But as Chivers has crashed and brought out a safety car. Novi peels into the pits, as does Smaller, as does Ryan. As does that guy, JohnJohn, Adam, Deflated, and Greg. Sox has stayed out, so we'll take P2. Tamino has got out ahead of the safety car. Novi going to hards, Smaller to softs, Ryan to hards, and everybody else behind onto softs. It'll be a stretch to take softs to the end here. And it'll cost you if you make the wrong decision. They'll be screaming at the end. However, it will give you a massive pace advantage to those hards for the first couple laps after the safety car. Can you guys hear me? By the way. Apologies. Right. So we should now see Tamino and Sox both going into the pit lane. Obviously under safety car you're going to lose out a lot less. And they'll both have fresher tyres than the cars behind. Sox has stayed out again. So Sox will resume the lead, having started in P1. And we'll have to fend off Tamino on fresh softs, Novi on fresh hards, Ryan on fresh hards, and everybody else on fresh softs as well. I think Sox might have done a bit of a blunder here. Not pitting under the safety car will leave you at a massive disadvantage. Unless he plans to pit now and be assured of dropping to the back. but also by the time the safety car comes in, or by the time they all get round to the final corner, the safety car will probably be in. So not quite sure what's going on in the Britain's mind. But hey ho, we shall have to find out. Good afternoon, Leo. Welcome to IIRL. I don't believe I've seen your name around here before. I'm alright, mate. How are you? And interestingly, the safety car is... oh no, very late call. Wow. Yeah, very late call from the safety cars to go in there. That might leave Socks very vulnerable down this straight. As we get racing back underway, and Tamino will be wanting to absolutely blitz past Socks here. We'll pull to the left hand side, go to the outside on those fresher softs. Socks will challenge him. Apologies, but Socks is coming right back at him through Curva Grande they go. Socks is being a bit of a blockade here. Is smaller now. Oh! Contact. Socks has gone round. Something happened. I wasn't quite sure because there were so many cars. But it's meant that Socks has gone round. And that's left Tamino up into P1. Ryan up into P2 on fresh hard. Socks has now spun out of the second Lesmo. Smaller now. Smaller and Tamino. They've got to be careful of getting front wing damage in that. So that'll be something to watch out for in the latter stages of the race. Smaller going for the same move he did on Novi earlier up in the race. Bit hard to tell from the trees, but Smaller has made the move on Ryan through Curva Alboreto, but Ryan will come back at him with the slipstream. Watch out for JohnJohn, the no assist champion of this season, but no, they've all decided to keep it sensible. Deflated has made the move on Adamski into turn 1. Just soon doing comms myself. Oh, that's cool. What are you doing comms for? Yeah, going back to the action. Tamino's now built a 1.6 second, 1.89, nearly 2 second lead over Smaller, whilst they've all been fighting. Good evening, Red Dragon. How are you? Oh, that's somebody off in the background. That was Smaller. Smaller off in Lesmo 1. And that's left Ryan up in P2. And JohnJohn up into P3. And Tamino now with a 3.3 second lead. The man is on a mission. Contact, I saw it? Yeah. I was looking over at chat and just noticed it on my laptop. It's just like, what's going on there? But with DRS now active, JohnJohn will breathe. Actually, no. DRS has enabled this lap. I'm sorry, excuse me. But JohnJohn will go past. And Deflatable wanting to get past Ryan as well. English? Hello? Wanting to be getting past Ryan. There we go. Because Deflated and Ryan are also battling for P3 in the championship. Possibly P2 if they could catch. So these will be crucial points for both drivers. And already, Ryan's been gapped by JohnJohn. Those hards, pitting for those hards under safety cars, he's made a mistake through Lesmo 1. Deflated decides to wisely back out. Get the switchback almost, and the DRS down to Ascari. And breeze past the Alpine. Is rival for a higher place in the championship. They've only gained 1 point because it's a sprint, but 1 point could be all that is the matter between the next position in the championship and the last. Ryan will get DRS down here, and Deflated won't. So Ryan's tyres as well, going to be wanting to be watching on that as he breezes past Deflated there. Smaller gets 5 seconds for speeding and retires from the race. Unfortunate for him. Contact having sent him round. So, not ideal for the Aston Martin man. Definitely taking a lot of curb through there. They'll unsettle you a lot if you take too much. Novi getting past Adamski now. I think those hards might start coming into their own ever so soon. There's, ooh, off by Novi in the background. I say that, and those hards for Novi aren't exactly working. That's Deflated making a move for P3. Greg getting up into P6 past both Adamski and Novi. Opportunistic from the pole. Ryan closing and closing on Deflated, but is going to stay behind to get the DRS down the main straight. Doesn't quite get a great exit, and that guy's going to have a 3-second penalty applied to his time for warnings. Ryan breezes past the left-hand side. I really do think that those hards are going to be coming into their own anytime soon. There's a battle going on in the background. Novi sending it on the inside, has to cut the chicane. And will let Greg and Adam back through. Ooh, but that guy going for a move might make it a little bit more difficult for him. Can't really go 3 wide in Ascari? Hello? Curva Grande. My English, my brain is not working right now. So Novi has dropped out of the DRS of Greg. They're all going around and off in the background. I don't know how easily Novi's going to be able to argue getting that 3 seconds removed, but we'll have to wait and see from the stewards. Oof, Deflated going off on the exit of Ascari. But JohnJohn is closing the gap on Tamino. Only has 3 laps to catch him, though. It is one thing to catch and it is another to overtake. We all know that in Formula 1. But Deflated will now have the DRS down the main straight. With the high top speeds, it might be a bit difficult even with the DRS to overtake Ryan. Deflated will pull out, go for a dive bomb. Bit of contact through turn 1. Which does leave Ryan ahead. All the while, I'll be keeping an eye on that gap between JohnJohn and Tamino, because I see it coming down and down and down, but with Tamino's 1 lap fresher tyres, that might aid him in the long run. Greg just about keeping within DRS of that guy as well in the back. Novi closing and closing as well. Deflated closer than he was last lap. Might try it into turn 1 again. There's a bit more conviction this time around, maybe. It's a pretty decent exit for the both of them. Deflated keeping it tight on the exit. Will give him better traction. Has the slipstream and DRS. They'll both be burning. Deflated pulls to the inside. Gets the braking nicely done. And he's up into P3. But Ryan, with a monster exit off of turn 2, will take the inside for turn 4. Gets it done even before the braking zone. Socks, unfortunately, gets a 5-second penalty for speeding as well. So that is Adamski off in the background. That's where the yellow flag has come from. He's off at turn 4. I think at this rate that would still be a point for Adam, because obviously in the sprint, points down from P1 to P8. I think Deflated might be in a quite the ideal position here though, considering he is behind for the final lap. JohnJohn 1.4 seconds behind Tamino, is closing, but I don't think it will quite be enough. Deflated, 0.3 behind. Will he go for it again? Pulls to the inside. Oh! Small bit of contact there as well. He'll need a good exit to fend off Ryan, and they'll both be burning and burning and burning their battery. Good evening, Rids. You join us for the last lap. Deflator pulls to the inside to defend. Ryan can't quite get there. A bit of a snap from Deflated through turn 4 and 5. He'll be wanting to hold him off down the straight to Ascari though, and once he gets that, he'll be home and dry. There's a yellow flag again in Sector 2 for Adamski. Not quite sure what that one's about. But Ryan, looking for the move, and gets it round the outside of the first part of Ascari. Gets him just before the braking zone, those hards proving to be the better option. But out in front, the charge from JohnJohn is not quite enough. And it is Tamino who takes the sprint. The 8 points, the whole shebang. As I say, JohnJohn's charge couldn't quite come by the end. Ryan getting deflated with a good move by the end. Greg up into P5 from that guy's 3-second penalty, excuse me. Novi with his 3 seconds will stay in P7. Adamski scoring Haas's first points of the season in no assists. And now we wait for Socks. Well, that was a chaotic one, huh? Couldn't stop talking. But, yeah, enjoyable nonetheless. Now, after this, we shall move on to qualifying for the main event. My voice is going to be going ever so soon. Yeah, entertaining race. Hopefully we'll see even more action. So yeah, as I said, Tamino taking the win from JohnJohn from 7th on the grid, 7th, 11th and 10th. There's a long way back to come from. Excuse me, dear lord. 1:19.679 for Tamino taking the fastest lap. And that will be sort of a warning sign for everyone else, I think. But, we shall have to wait and see, because first we have qualifying to go through. really don't understand why people do pushing out laps. Because you're just going to waste your tyres. But anyway, that guy comes around the final corner. Pretty decent exit. Turns on the ERS and is going to fly down the main straight. Keeps it tight to the right hand side. Again, lose a little bit of top end speed. Or rather, starting top end speed, if that makes any form of sense. Braking nice and early around in between 100 and 150. Nice little slide through turn 1 there. Decent traction. He'll keep it tight to the right hand side. Full curve grande. Braking around the, not the black box, excuse me, the 100-metre board. Keeps it in 4th over the curb. Nearly dips the tyres into the grass, but then sliding all over on the exit. Braking after the 50, keeping it nice and tight as the inside line. Has turned off his ERS. There's a Williams round. That'll be Chivers. But that guy's still pushing on the tyres, which I'm not entirely certain why. He has got enough fuel, excuse me, to go again. 6th gear through Ascari in qualifying. Again, you can use 5th if you want to, but obviously it is all personal preference. And bringing it round, braking just after the line. And that guy will bring it round curve at Alboreto. Take the checker flag and kick us off with 121.3. Obviously has not used a whole lot of battery. That'll be Chivers next to the line to start a lap, and next to set a lap will be Tamino. There's a Mercedes round to DeflatedWee, and Tamino says an 18.8 banker. So pretty decent from the Czech man. We'll see what other times come in. Ride on board with... Oh yeah, there's a second Mercedes. That was Socks. Excuse me. Apologies, Deflated, if you're in the stream. Ryan has backed off and is trying to recharge as much battery as he can. There'll be an Alfa Romeo next to the line. That'll be Novi to set a representative lap time. In the midst of that, JohnJohn's gone quicker than Tamino, only by 300ths. Novi goes up into 3rd with 120.4. Where's my controller? There it is. Should be that guy next to the line who goes into 3rd with 120.0. The Alpha Tauri of Tamino next to come in. Deflated to start a lap, and Chivers, who has invalidated, is also on the medium tyres. I never understand this. And it infuriates me. I don't understand. Why do people use mediums in qualifying? What is the point? The spoon of the... Excuse me. Yeah. My English is not working. The spoon of the weekend. Because I can't really call it a race, can I? The spoon of qualifying is at it again. Shivers is on the mediums. Deflate with a big snap out of Lesmo 2. .7 overall split. That's not too bad, and he's invalidated on the entry to Ascari. He'll keep pushing for the Delta. Not too many cars on track now. He's in 6th gear for Ascari. Will he take the flag? Will he come to the bits? No, he takes the flag to get his Delta. He's at 19.0, so not bad from Deflated. Now I'm going to eat my meatballs. we'll switch to somebody who's actually on a lap, shall we? Is anybody on a lap? Aside from Chivers, who's doing race runs. I'll take that as a no. There's Mercedes going past the line. Now that is Sox to start a lap. Gets the braking all crossed up for turn 1. He's got the Alfa Romeo, of Novi behind him. On an out lap, so won't be done for impeding, but I think Sox might just be probably backing off a little bit. Deflated's come into the pit lane. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, and that'll be Tomino starting the lap. The Haas gets up very nicely, as does the Alpine. 54.9. Sox invalidates on the inside of Ascari. Unfortunate. So next car to the line will be Small. I hate this camera. I can't see anything. SmallerSmiley comes around the final corner. Doesn't quite keep it tight to the right hand side. The 20.2 moves into P4. 3-4 for Aston Martin at the moment. Obviously, not to diminish anything, but it's a bigger story when you're 3-4 with 20 cars and with 12, but you take what you can get in Formula 1. We've also got Ryan on a lap. One of our winners this year, I believe, in Brazil. Taking those tyres a monster 23 laps. Very close to invalidating on the second part of Ascari there. Tomino sets an 18.3 in the middle of the session. There's a fantastic lap time from the AlphaTauri man. Ryan goes into P3 with a 19.5. Next car to the line will be the Alfa Romeo of Novi, who has invalidated. So then it will be the Aston Martin with that guy, starting his second lap. Excuse me, his fourth lap. Wow. Deflated will be next to the line to start a lap, and it will be Greg to set his first lap. Not too far off. Comes around the final corner, does the 28 Ferrari. Nice and tight to the right hand side. 20.4 puts in P6. And then it will be this season's champion pulling into the pit lane. Ryan in behind him as well. TD is joined. Then will be the Alfa Romeos, 6 tenths up. Does 19.7, puts himself up into P4. Impressive stuff from the German. And that guy goes into P3 on a 19.4, track improving. But will anyone improve enough to topple Tomino's 18.3? I don't know, TD. What's a car that isn't currently in use? AlphaTauri, Ferrari, Aston, Alpine, Alfa Romeo, Haas, Williams, Mercedes, McLaren. What's the other one? Red Bull. Oh, what timing? Yeah, go Red Bull, mate. One of the cars that isn't in use for today yet. That you shall now take. I need to add you into the thing. Into my thing. You shall be in the Red Bull. And now there is nobody on track, and as I say that, there's Prev coming out the pit lane. Why is my timing so bad today? Socks has retired from the session. That is an interesting call to say the least. We're going to try and get tyre temperature. What on earth happened there? I heard of many contacts. As Prev will come towards the final corner and start his first lap for a while. Obviously, man being newborn father, or recently crowned father, I should say. I don't know what the term to use is, but hey ho, here we go. Haven't seen him in action for a while. Braking quite nicely for turn 1. Doesn't drift unlike some others that we've seen in the session. Short shifting to third on exit. Pretty decent from the McLaren man. We shall see where the first sector lands him. He's done 26.4. That's not bad. Gets it nicely soft with the chicane. Down to 5th for Lesmo 1. We'll do the same for Lesmo 2, braking just after the 50. Down to 4th for Lesmo 2. There's a Ferrari on the inside there. He might try and get a slight toe off of him. Don't think that quite paid off. 53.4. He's only 5/10 off some cars that we've seen earlier. 6/10 off that guy, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But we will see Prev coming to the line. He hasn't invalidated so far. And won't invalidate his lap. So Prev will come to the line. So 19.9 is a pretty good lap, to be fair to him. But with the track improving, and people going faster and faster and faster, we could see that position tumble down the order. There's a Mercedes slow, I think that's DeflatedWee. He's on an outlap, so it's fine. Greg pulls into the pit lane, that is his session over. That is Top Gun to the line to start a lap. There's an Aston come towards the line. If that guy to start a lap. And Tomino to start a lap, then Small to start a lap, and then TD, who is currently on a lap. But will be going again. Probably want to turn on the battery, that might be a good idea. We'll ride on board, shall we? First on-board lap we got of the day. Unless of course TD's just doing race runs, in which case he doesn't actually need to turn on the battery. You know what, screw it. You're getting out of the way of Novi, who's had a poor Sector 1 compared to normal. Tamino's crashed, has he? Oh my word. Tamino having a moment on the exit of Lesmo 1 that's put him into the wall. Hopefully that's caused no distractions for anyone. Novi's still a 10th down. That guy next towards the line. Top Gun's gone into third. A last gasp effort from the Greek. And that guy with 19.2 puts himself P4. Novi spun out the final corner. Unfortunate for him. TD is a second and a half down. So therefore, next to set a representative lap time will be SmallerSmiley, who comes into the pit lane. Never mind. So it'll be DeflatedWee to the line. Goes into P3 with an 18.8. Novi pulls into the pit lane. That is the Williams of Chivers going up into P12. And Ryan's coming into the pit lane. So that is your qualifying order. It's impressive pole laps, to be fair to him. His session marred a bit by the crash. But Tamino does take pole. The 1:18.304. We do now have 14 cars, what with the 3 joinees. But Tamino taking pole by an absolute margin and a half to our Season 6 NA champion, our double champion now. Almost 3.5 tenths off. DeflatedWee, Top Gun, the Greek, joining quite late in the session. That guy in P5, Ryan 6th, Novi 7th, a pretty decent day for the German. P8 for Prev on his return after not quite making out for qualifying last time out. Smaller P9, Greg P10, Adamski in P11, Chivs P12, TD in P13, presumably doing race runs, and Socks in P14. And now time to speedrun eating my food. Want to see some Battle for my 10 years? We shall have to wait and see, shan't we? And it shouldn't be long to the lights now. Here we go. 4, 5 lights. And we are racing. Chivers gets a drive through for a jump start. It's just Chivers' day going bad to worse. JohnJohn trying to take the lead from Tamino. He's on the inside. He's starting on the softs, I think that is. Where Tamino's on the hards. JohnJohn with a brilliant exit. And will take the lead from Tamino. JohnJohn, only one of 2 people starting on the hards. Tamino trying to come back at him on the inside of turn 4. Does get there. There's a bit of contact between the two. That might open the door for DeflatedWee, who's just about holding on for Top Gun. There's a car off in the background. I think there might be Chivers. Tamino's held on to second place.
JohnJohn's taking the lead. As I was saying before, JohnJohn was 2 cars to start on the soft tyres, Novi the next car in P8. And then from there, got a bit of an even split between hards and softs. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars starting on the mediums there, and everyone else on hards. JohnJohn just about, was he over there? I couldn't quite tell. But the champion crown last week has taken the lead. Deflated will be wanting for Ryan to stay down there in P6 where he currently is, so he can gain some key points on his rival. TD with a pretty decent start comes up into P10. Chivers immediately serving his drive through. And JohnJohn will probably want to utilise those soft tyres a little bit more than he currently is. He's only 4.5 to 4 to 5 tenths away from Tamino.
But he'll probably gain a whole lot more in this middle sector.
Yeah, look at that. Gap opening up to about 6 tenths, but with the slipstream, it's so powerful around here. On this game in general, we'll have to see on the next game whether this can be kept up. Deflated, keeping the gap between himself and Tamino relatively stable, and then growing the gap to Top Gun as well. So Deflated could yet be a factor in this race. JohnJohn sets a fast lap, then Tamino. JohnJohn wanting to get those soft tyres out the way early. TD's making a move on Greg down the main straight. Greg seems to have had a bit of an issue, and he's dropped behind SmallerSmiley as well. But the gap between P9 and P8 has opened a little bit more now. Prev has fallen out of DRS as well, but from here, I think it might be a bit of a DRS train. Smaller's also got past TD.
However,
DRS now active. So, but Tamino, you might have been able to notice his dash there. And Top Gun also, he's almost out of DRS, and I think he might be, unless he burns all of his battery, which it looks like he plans on doing. Deflated closing in on Tamino at a rate of not. Smaller also getting past Prev, as has Novi in the for a while. Ryan looking for a move on that guy for P5. He's taken the inside and that guy's seemingly backed out of it there. Smaller on the outside of Prev, almost on the inside for turn 2. Can't quite get that done, but what that's doing is allowing Novi to pull away, so his softs last a little bit longer. There's a yellow flag at the curve at Alboreto, that's Chivers that's gone round, unfortunate for the Williams driver. JohnJohn very close to direct limits there, if not over. And the gap from Tamino to Deflated has now started to open itself. Honestly, I think that if JohnJohn wants any hope of winning this race, he needs to keep Deflated in the DRS train. Which sounds a bit counterintuitive. Prev has spun on the exit of Ascari, which is going to allow everyone to get past him, bar Chivers, of course, who had to serve the drive-through penalty. And Tamino's closer than he has been thus far. Might look for the move on the inside of turn 1, no, backs out. TD has come into the pit lane. It's a very early stop, if so. Excuse me. Last season racing wanted to close the boom. That's one way to phrase it. Sorry. Just have to sign back into my laptop. Ryan is now quite close. The gaps are opening themselves up. Top Gun almost out of DRS now. To me, I'm almost looking for a move. Not quite getting there. Top Gun seemingly loses out on the first part of Ascari, but claws it back in the middle. Adamski is retired and on the exit of Lesmo 2, and that's caused a safety car. That's the second time we've seen people do that today and cause a safety car, but now there's going to be a massive opportunity for those soft runners. Top Gun stays out, but everybody else in the top 6 come in. Prev gets a drive-through for speeding and a safety car. Novi's come in as well, as has SmallerSmiley. Greg will come in. Sox will also come in, so everybody bar Top Gun will be coming in. Prev has stayed out.
Well, scratch that.
But Prev has jumped Novi. So that's about where he was before. TD has also stayed out on fresh hards. He'll be ruining having pipped the lap before. Chivers also stays out on 4-lap medium. Sox has come in and will be P12.
Excuse me, I'm not feeling fantastic at the moment. That does kind of save Chivers' race as well, because remember he did get the drive-through penalty.
Unfortunate for Adam as well. First points of the season
For the Haas squad.
and first points for him for this season. So not quite sure what Chivers is doing there. It's an interesting strategy to save tyres as well, if I'm being completely honest. In the famous words of Lewis Hamilton, interesting tactics, I would say. But everybody in the field is currently in a Williams sandwich. Top Gun has come into the pit lane, as has Prev now. Who else might we see come into the pit lane? SmallerSmiley has stayed out, obviously, having stopped the lap prior. TD stays out, Greg stays out, Sox will stay out, and Chivers... honestly not sure what he's going to do. He's a massive wild card at the end of this stage of the race.
He could do absolutely anything.
Interestingly, JohnJohn, Smaller and Prev all boxing onto the hards. Everybody else goes onto the mediums, including Novi, who also started on the softs. But there are some people, like Prev, who else is on mediums? I don't
Oh, excuse me.
Jesus. I don't understand what Chivers is doing at the back of this safety car. Safety car in this lap, a much earlier call than it was for Sox in the sprint race. As you can see there, Prev with the drive-through penalty to serve, which kind of ruins his race, and Chivers with the 6 seconds. At the back of the field, and with a stop yet to make. But it will be the Season 6 champion, already confirmed with 3 races left to go, who will lead us round Curve at Alboreto. And he takes us back to racing, here at the Temple of Speed in Monza. And now it will be Tomino with the tyre advantage. Sox and TD. Sox maybe misjudging that restart. Maybe he had to give that position back. TD's making a move on Greg in the background. On the outside, Prev's making a move on Sox. Top Gun's up to 9th and all of that. I think Greg might have gone round. Yeah, unfortunate for the Ferrari. Everybody's now in a Ferrari sandwich. Hey, look at that. But it is the champion who has led us away and maintained the lead. From the AlphaTauri Tomino in P2, Deflated P3, Ryan P4, those two fighting for P3 in the championship as well. That guy in P5, Novi and an Aston Martin sandwich, with SmallerSmiley in P7, TD in P8 having literally just joined the lobby. I say that, Top Gun's just got past him. Prev now into P10, Smaller with a 3-second penalty for tracking limits. Prev with the drive-through still to serve, so Sox is in a net P10. Would be quite the result for the Mercedes driver, considering he hasn't really raced a lot of NA this season, and already on the exit, maybe mid-corner, Tomino is already going for that move on JohnJohn. So Tomino and Deflated will be wanting to get past JohnJohn here. And they're going to be... JohnJohn might be boxed in a little bit here, which will allow Deflated to go to the inside and take the corner. Oh! Ryan almost being forced off by JohnJohn there. That guy being opportunistic. Might look for it through Curva Grande. Can't quite get there, unfortunately. But Ryan loses a place due to JohnJohn's mistake. Backing out? You never know what it might be. But JohnJohn on those hards. Obviously, he'll come back towards the end of the race. But 18 further laps. That'll be a monster stint on those mediums.
But it's not like it hasn't been done before.
Ryan can tell you that fact quite easily.
And my laptop's gone off again. There we go. I can see people now.
And Tomino's taking the fastest lap on those mediums, having just taken the lead, but Deflated
Sticking with Tomino here. Deflated not having the best run of form as of recent.
Well, he has won a race in NA this season, as Prev comes in to serve his drive-through and promotes Sox into the top 10. Yeah, Deflated has won a race in NA this season, but his form as of late hasn't been ideal, to say the least. But this daring strategy, with 17 laps to go at this stage, he needs to take those mediums, 21 total laps. So he will want to start tyre saving probably about now, so that he can make sure that he's not in puncture range. However, we shall have to wait and see. Tomino coming around the final corner now. And Prev with the 3-second time penalty on the exit, I believe, of Lesmo 2. But Tomino will lead us on to lap 11. It's the AlphaTauri man from P2, DeflatedWee. P3, JohnJohn, P4, that guy. Now, as I say that, Deflated looking to take the lead in Ferrari's backyard. Gives us a spun on the exit of Curva Alboreto. But in the backyard of the Scuderia and the Tifosi, JohnJohn currently in P3, Greg in P11. Ooh, lot of curb taken by Tomino there. And this will allow JohnJohn to close ever closer back up to them. Tamino may want to go past here. He looks to the inside. Can't quite get there, interestingly. We shall have to wait and see. Tamino pulling to the outside to maybe cool his engine. Deflated moving across to the racing line. Chivers will probably need to come in anytime soon. But here we go. Deflated could lose 2 spots here as there's an Aston Martin gone round with SmallerSmiley. Sox is up into P9, Greg into P10. So Tamino will resume the lead from DeflatedWee, from JohnJohn, from that guy. Ryan has fallen out of DRS of the top 4. That'll be music to deflated ears. Can't quite get there for turn 4. Excuse me. Currently the fastest lap being held... I can actually check that for you. Currently the fastest lap being held by Tamino. Deflated having quite the snap. He's lost himself a lot of time to Tamino. But with the DRS and battery... Ooh, that would have been close to a warning there.
But he does remain within the DRS of Tamino.
And now, what was a 2-car fight for the lead has suddenly become a 4-car fight for the lead. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3 as SmallerSmiley is spun on the exit of Ascari. I'm not sure quite how he's ended up there. Deflated, taking the inside, Top Gun taking Ryan as Greg has also spun on the exit of Curve at Alboreto. So currently, Mercedes in Ferrari's backyard. Oh, it's Deflated makes a mistake and goes off the track. As JohnJohn will now be on the inside of Lesmo 1. That's a precarious place to make a move. Can't quite pull it off. But Tamino does resume the lead. There's another yellow in Sector 3. I think Smaller might come into the pit lane and retire. Yeah, he's in the pit lane now. Yeah. Unfortunate for Smaller. It's running a pretty good race up in P8 and P9 around the echelons. Just to let you know, maybe 2. What? What? Tamino's gonna throw the race to get fastest lap. Is he now? That's rather interesting. As there's a yellow flag where there's a ghosted car. Ooh. Deflated just about cutting back in under braking.
I see yellow flags and I see a load of cars, but I don't think that... Well, obviously there's no incident, but...
It's just so confusing because I feel like I keep thinking that there is one. However, if we look to P4 as well, that guy recently has been on an incredible run of form. I believe his last 2 results have been a P4 and a P3. So that guy is on an insane run. As JohnJohn ever closer to Deflated, but Deflated will still have that DRS advantage from JohnJohn. No, not from JohnJohn, from Tamino. You can tell I'm very tired. As this is Deflated, pulling to the outside. Tamino pulling to the inside. He's going to let Deflated go, but stay ahead of JohnJohn. Top Gun gets past Ryan in the background for P5. And Deflated will probably want it to stay this way until the end of the race. With 12 laps to go.
Looking in very good position right now. Does the Mercedes man.
I didn't even see when that happened. Sox has got a 3-second time penalty. Must have been for track limits. Unfortunate for Sox. He does currently, as of right now, have a big enough gap to stay ahead of Greg. Tamino not quite going for the move before Ascari. He'll wait for DRS down the main straight, so this could leave Deflated rather vulnerable down the main straight to JohnJohn. Novi has disconnected. I don't think I have him on this account, which is mildly annoying. No. Oh, I can't. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I can see action goes backed out. JohnJohn has made a mistake and locked the rears. That'll allow Deflated to almost get alongside him on the exit. That guy goes creaming into the rear of Deflated as that happened. That was brilliant camera view. But I think JohnJohn locking the rears kind of propelled that to happen. As he's made another mistake now. He'll have lost DRS to Tamino if he keeps going at this rate. And he has. JohnJohn is out of DRS of Tamino. At this stage of the race, those hards will probably be a bit fresher. And that guy will be looking for a move on Deflated as well. Can't quite get there for Ascari. But JohnJohn will not be happy with himself after that. And all that's happened now is that that's allowed Ryan to close back up
to this leading train.
As Tamino has a bit of a snap there. He said he changed his plans for today. I don't know, but it sounded like... Yeah. I mean... He could, but he's causing some brilliant action as of right now. As JohnJohn,
in the home of the Tifosi, is now taking the lead away from the Czech man.
That guy, I think he was looking for a move on Deflated, and he is again. Going to the outside of turn 4. That's a brave one if he can pull that off. There's contact between the two. Deflated. He's gone off and is now behind Top Gun. So from looking at the lead to now being in P6, it's not a good result so far for Deflated. And Tamino looking for the move but can't quite get there. Deflated out of DRS. You think? So Tamino now will be looking to take the lead down to turn 1. I'm not sure what quite happened there. That looked like that
Tamino just hit the bump that's into the entry of Ascari.
Excuse me. I meant Alberto. That guy has now come into the pit lane, as has Novi. Having just joined back, Chivers has got another 3-second penalty, so TD will be up into P6. Apologies. You wrote it before that happened. Fair enough. So that will promote Sox into P7 and Greg into P9. But at the moment it is the two Italian teams that lead. Obviously AlphaTauri in the next game will be VCarb. No longer the Italian name, but still, I believe, based in Faenza. And also at this stage, Socks on those 12-lap-old mediums will be wanting to use that guy's pace to hopefully drag him out of the penalty window of his penalty window of Greg, but unfortunately I don't think he's quite managed to hold on to DRS. But it will be now JohnJohn looking for the lead as Tamino does come in. Tamino has come in. So JohnJohn will resume the lead, Ryan into P2, Top Gun P3 and Deflated P4. That guy will trigger the undercut. Not quite sure what's going on there between Chivers and Prev, but that means that TD will be up into P5 on hards. Tamino has gone for the soft tyre. That's a very interesting call at this stage in the race. And he is ahead of that guy. Greg has also come in.
I think Socks might now also be looking to come in
within the next lap or so. As JohnJohn has now got clear air in front and behind.
And will now be looking to just extend that gap.
As Chivers has got a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. Chivers goes on to fresh softs and Prev on to fresh mediums. Prev is retired in the pit lane. And Chivers will still be... now Chivers has been lapped. His Top Gun has now got past Ryan as well. Prev, unfortunately, having to leave.
It was going actually quite well for Prev.
Unfortunately, couldn't keep it the way it was. Soggs has now come in as I suspected. As you can now see the parked car of Prev just before curve grinder. There's a spun car? It's a yellow flag. Not quite sure what that is. That might be Chivers. Excuse me. Oh, my laptop's gone off again. For goodness sake. Socks, however, on those 1 lap fresh tyres. We should actually... Oh, sugar. Excuse that. Right on board with Tamino. He's 2/10 down on himself at the moment. That's probably from DRS. Bit snappy through there. Wow. Now with Tamino treating this like a qualifying lap, Greg has now got past Socks as well. Ryan up into P2. Now will Tamino confirm his fastest lap? 19, 20, 21.3. Marginally faster than his previous lap time that he had with DRS. So if one of these cars gets DRS and is on the fresh soft tyres, they could overhaul Tamino yet. But overall, with 6 laps to go, I don't think Tamino's getting much higher than 5th. Talking to Ryan going side by side. Up ahead. Tamino trying to get through on TD. Can't quite make it. Big snap on the exit. Socks has now got past Greg. Going into turn 1. And Tamino safely through on TD and will now go chasing after Deflated Ryan Top Gun. Who are now all in a DRS train, but there's also the ghosted car of Chivers. Top Gun has now come into the pit lane with a 5-second penalty for speeding. That's not good for the Greek. It is not quite ended how he would want. So now, it'll be a question of what do Ryan and Deflated do? So Tamino will have one less car to overtake. In 5 laps, he'll want to get up to the back of these two as soon as is humanly possible. And give me 2 seconds while I turn my laptop back on. I still need to sort this out. Right, excuse me while anything happens. I will try and get back to the action as quick as I can. That's all good. Right. And now, Tamino's closed that gap by nearly, what, 2.5 seconds? Nearly 3? Chivers must be ever so distracting for these two. As Ryan now pulls to the inside and goes cleanly ahead of Deflated. Tamino also setting another fastest lap of 19.9. I think he might have had DRS that lap, to be fair. Either that or he's used some battery. That guy's also got past TD now.
Unfortunate for that guy as well. I was running in the podium positions. Obviously with the kerfuffle with those cars. That was a massive loss of time. With only 4 laps to go, these mediums can very much make it to the end, it seems. Sonk's getting back past Greg into turn 1. I keep wanting to say Prev, because their names are so gosh darn similar. However, the fight for P3 in the championship is right here. Obviously, with the confirmation of JohnJohn winning the title as of last week, the focus now shifts to those lower places in the championship, and also to the constructors. Now, if things finish like this, which I believe they probably will, Ferrari, I think, would overtake Mercedes. I think they're currently behind. Don't quote me on that one, though. So at the moment, I believe Ferrari would be best placed going into the next race. However, Mercedes will be looking to strike back quick. Novi's spun out of turn 1. Turn 2, sorry. People are spinning very far out of exit of corners these days, and I don't quite understand it. That must be so off-putting for Deflated as well, with Chivers basically halfway inside his car. That must be so frustrating as well. Can't quite imagine it, but ooh. I feel bad for the man. Must be so off-putting. He's 2 seconds a lap slower than his previous bests. Closing and closing and closing on Ryan, but can't quite get there. And with 2 laps to go, it's looking better and better for JohnJohn out in front. So we know with 2 laps to go, we'll need to be, what, 3 seconds a lap faster, if not more, if he wants to catch these two. So I think the mission for Tamino to get onto the podium is as good as over at this stage, unfortunately, for the Czech. But it could be worth somebody gambling, you never know. Gambling for a new set of tyres on lap 26 and to take the fastest lap point. Maybe TD could try it, maybe Novi could try it. They both have a fair gap on them.
Maybe Socks could try it because he's not going anywhere with his penalty. Chiver's doing a bit of Monza drift, it seems, and Deflated now a 10th behind Ryan. Pulls to the left-hand side, squeezes through, and just about getting it stopped for turn 1. And does get through up into second place. Minimising the losses of the constructors' fight, and also while gaining on Ryan for P3 in the championship, would be a fantastic way for Deflated to finish this race. But Ryan takes back P2. It's a little bit wide. Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. As we now come towards Curve Alboreto for the penultimate time. And JohnJohn will lead us down the main straight. You'll be able to see on your minimap, but we will keep this focus on this fight. And Deflated being 3/10 back, he's not quite making too many inroads. He'll go for the inside. Doesn't quite get there. He'll probably go for it into Ascari, but we'll have to wait and see. So there's an Alfa Romeo off. Excuse me. Of Novi off the curve at Alboreto. Deflated is not really that close anymore. He's 6/10 back. I don't think it'll be enough for the Mercedes man. Top Gun, excuse me. Tamino is right there as well. But yeah, Deflated is a bit too far back. He'll close up under braking. Can't quite get the exit, and I think that's how it's going to stay, and that's all she wrote. And it's the same for JohnJohn as well. That's all she wrote after Tamino came into the pit lane. Season 6 champion wins again. And now, I believe, takes the official consecutive wins record. The Ferrari man has been imperious all season. And he's extending that run of form. Congratulations to the Ferrari. He's done very well today. An exceptional drive from all of our drivers. 22 laps from Ryan and Deflated on those mediums. That is a mind-bogglingly long amount of time. But yeah, congratulations to the top 3. Congratulations to Tamino having made an extra stop and still getting within 2 seconds of the cars in front. Top Gun losing out from his penalty, TD in P7, Novi in P8, Greg who will come home P9, Socks in P10. Shivers having been lapped will come home P11. But I think that was over when the lights went out. Obviously due to the drive-through penalty. Unfortunate for him, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. But, Sunday drive. Yeah, you were nowhere near anybody, mate. From both in front and behind. No disrespect intended to you, of course, but... Rids with the clapping emotes in chat. Yeah, well done to everybody today. It was a very good... It was a very... Yeah, English. It was a very good race. I'd done no practice while I turned on my Xbox and raced. Congratulations, man. That was intense. And to get no track limits penalties. That's impressive, bro. But yeah. JohnJohn, with the Tifosi behind him, having already won the championship, still continuing his run of form. That's 6 races in a row now, I believe. Ryan comes home P2 from P6 on the grid. Deflated P3. Tamina P4 fastest lap, getting that 10 euros. That guy, Top Gun, TD, Novi, Greg, and Socks running out the top 10. Cheers with a lap down. Prev, Smaller, and Adamski all DNFing.
And that is your wrap for the Monza race today.
IIRL will be back with 81,
where Exotic has won the championship.
And then next week is our penultimate race
Of this season. I was about to say of this game. No, it's not. And it will be the Mexican Grand Prix.
So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.